This is the WGBH Forum Network.
It is now my great honor and privilege to introduce His Holiness Tenzin Gyatso, the 14th Dalai Lama, to present his reflections on the role of education in transforming our world.
Also Sanju Tawada Tumui Beta Jawa Yodeve and Tagada Zulata, the and Zunzi, and our Kawan Nabasota, and Lulu Nabasota, Tishingi, and Kunja Nabas Samateja or Sharia, and Terte to Chagasara number 2 Shui.
Dr. Christ, Dr. Hester, president of the two colleges that have enjoyed a long-standing educational relationship with the Tibetan academic centers in India, distinguished faculty, staff, students, and guests. It's a great honor for me to participate in this ceremony today, and also a great joy.
And Tangude Lomang Rilia and Mazada Lobjum Dine Kakashalia, Javananche, the Pantasha Chundiari, the two Shishinders.
First of all, I would like to express my deep appreciation to these two colleges who have made great contribution to various academic centers of Tibetan studies in India. And I'm particularly delighted that you have expressed your commitment to ongoing program in future as well.
Train today and the Labda and the Kashurda. The Labda Yirwa, Kranz on the Chita, Ramon, the Kranz of Sung Simbata, and the chance of Sung Ju Dara, chance of Tushui.
I would also like to express my appreciation to the members of the choir, the one who has already sung, the one who is yet to sing, for your participation in this occasion.
And then, Maranzu, the Puji, the year the Veteranzu, the Sungshed and Jeve Tane, and Tajan Shana Kashish to Stambati to Sheshui.
I would also like to express my appreciation to the local Tibetan Association, first of all for their presentation of the Tibetan culture and the background, and also a performance that was presented here.
I think generally, we Tibetan, although our situation, a difficult period, this ancient nation with unique cultural heritage and also beautiful sort of environment, that nation now passing through darkest period in our, I think, almost more than 2,000 years. However, I think we utilize every opportunity this difficult period is to develop ourselves. So naturally, I think with help of many others, I think individuals as well as our organization, NGOs, and also particularly Indian government side. Also, I think helped a lot. So I really impressed yesterday the one Tibetan speaker. He born in a nomad area through our own schools in India, and eventually joined here. I think his English, also the accent also seems very nice. And meantime, I think the Tibetan spirit still remains very strong. So at the end, he expressed, sort of say, his emotions also. So, I very much appreciate those Tibetans and also our friends, our supporters, our helpers. I very much appreciate. Then, me, I always telling or expressing whenever I got this kind of degree, honorary degree. So my case, I think one special sort of something like privilege or degree without study. So that's, I think, one exception. I think one exception. So, in any way, I think this degree, I really feel some kind of recognition about my small contribution for welfare of humanity. So I very much appreciate. So as you recognize some of my contribution, so rest of my life, till my death, I fully committed, whatever way, some service to humanity. Mainly in two fields: promotion of human value. That it seems quite clear. The education and all other facilities suppose bring to successful life, happy life. But then obviously, people who have these two things, good education and wealth, would not necessarily be a happy person. So that means there must be another element in order to be a happy person. So that is more compassionate, sort of today.
Heart.
Compassionate heart. So, plus also education, good education, and then facilities, plus on that.
In addition to that.
In addition, warm-heartedness, then person become fuller. And I think then well equipped when face some problems. Education give us guidance, right? And warm-heartedness give us the proper use of all our knowledge. If the hard side, such as hatred and ill feeling, anger, jealousy, then our knowledge could use for destructive. And personally also, mere knowledge sometimes causing more worry. Because, you see, knowledge create more visions, more expectations. And sometimes all the expected sort of things not successful, then feel a lot of worry, a lot of disappointment. So I think personally also, warm-heartedness is the key thing to sustain peace of mind. Through that way, the person becomes much more happier. Even physical well-being also, more happier mind, more peaceful mind. Your body's elements goes more natural way. So the physical health viewpoint also, peace of mind is something very important factor. So peace of mind, certainly, like anger, hatred, jealousy, these is actually destroyer of peace of mind. So therefore, the opposite force of emotion, such as love, kindness, altruistic attitude, and openness, is in these are the factor to create more calm mind or peace of mind. So, and then also, you see, these good quality of our mind and our emotion, not necessarily, I say, they come from religious teachings. Of course, since these are basic human value, therefore, all different traditions, religious traditions, you see, carry the importance of these things, such as love, compassion, forgiveness, tolerance, contentment, self-discipline. All tradition, same what's the message. However, listen, these values, I think from the biological speaking, these are necessary so that by nature all have seed of these things. And particularly, I believe, just after we birth, just after we're born, I think within a few minutes, I think a mother's tremendous sort of love, affection, that provide us sense of security, happy, and some warmth. So I think that is the most crucial experience, because that's the beginning of our life. So person or people who lacked that kind of experience at that moment, I think the rest of their life may be more cooler. So the person who from the birth, at least the next few years, full of love, affection from their parents or from their friends, particularly from the mother, that I think later that person, generally speaking, becoming more warm-hearted person themselves. So therefore, loving kindness not come later in our life or from teaching, from religious teaching, but from birth. So I think, experienced the value of that quality. So the child side also, the immense sort of closeness feeling towards one's own mother. So that I usually call basic human value. Sometimes we grown up, our brain develop, more education, more knowledge. I think sometimes we take for granted these other value. And then environment situation. I think sometimes they suppress.
The qualities become suppressed.
These good qualities become something suppressed. And also I think people also a little bit neglected about these inner value. So wherever I go, I always telling people or sharing with people or give some kind of warning if we neglected about the warm-heartedness side, then our world may not be happy world. Technology is still going on. The knowledge still advancing. But these technology and knowledge controlled by negative emotion, then instead of happier, more trouble, such as September 11th event. These are with modern technology and intelligence, I think marvelous, sophisticated intelligence, guided by hatred. So then such unbelievable things you see happen. So therefore, I think we should pay more attention about warm-heartedness. Now that, I think the method or way of approach to increase that quality, not just through not through knowledge, through information, but through action. In any way, with action, I think it is very important to cultivate the awareness, the usefulness about these qualities. So I think various the institutions which deal with education, I think really worthwhile pay more attention how to educate importance of warm-heartedness from kindergarten up to university level. So that I always share with the people. So here also I want to share beside the work exchange our program and pay more attention about the value of these inequalities. So that's my number one commitment. Then number two commitment, promotion of religious harmony. I think originally all these religious traditions meant for provide happiness, humanity. Therefore, all major traditions is to carry, as I mentioned before, same message. Then the method different. The philosophical field different. So that's according different people with different mental disposition and different location, different sort of, even I think culture or climate, I think makes differences of, I think, the mental disposition. Therefore, we need different way of approach in order to increase or promote these inner values. So, different variety of religions happened. Then all the, I think, sad sort of, events in the part of history, in the name of religion, some conflict, even some war, I think the main reason, not religion itself, but some other interest, power, economy, or some cases, I don't know. I think the organizations, institution. So therefore, the religion, if we people who have the faith, who are followers of different religion, then I always telling we should be very sincere if we accept religion and serious. Otherwise, we simply call oneself as a Buddhist, as a Christian, as an Islamic way, like that. But in day-to-day life, not very serious. For example, we always talk about contentment. But when we are in, supermarket, or a lot of beautiful things there, then no longer any contentment. I want this, I want that, I want that, I want that, like that, isn't it? Then we also is talking about tolerance, patience. But as soon as we met with someone who disagree with you, then the practice of tolerance completely forget. We are ready to fight. And then also the self-discipline. Although we're talking about self-discipline, and we believe, I think from some corner of our mind, we believe the self-discipline is good. But then, if we are not very serious or very sincere, committed, then some circumstances, comes, then we sometimes neglect what sort of discipline, like that. So that is we are not very sincere and very, serious. So therefore, whether we accept religion or not, that's up to individual. There is other way to be a happier person or successful person without any religion. That's fact. But at the same time, if we accept religion, then it should be very sincere and very serious. So implement what religion talks. It is important. If we implement what the teaching used to say, then I think accept the philosophical field, as I mentioned earlier, purposely different philosophies or different way of approach, developed purposely, because different mental disposition, different circumstances. But then important is the value or the practice side. They are same. And then the philosophy, they also whether believe next rebirth or not, or some kind of the different concept. That is the philosophical field. So, therefore, the promotion of religious harmony is very possible and important. So I committed the promotion of religious harmony. So I think as a result, some of my Christian friends consider me as a good Christian. So some Muslim consider me as a good Muslim. So I don't know whether I deceived these people, or they too much better.
Or maybe there are sometimes words of flattery.
I don't know. But I'm Buddhist. Of course, I'm Buddhist. But in the meantime, I sincerely respect and appreciate all different traditions. Because they really served humanity in the past and present and future. I have many good friends among Christian and also Muslim and Jews. Very wonderful person. So all these traditions have the same potential. Therefore, the appreciation and admiration towards all these traditions. So these two commitments is lifelong commitment, because these commitments are mainly come from volunteer. Then the third commitment about Tibet, about Tibetan problem. So the other, the Tibetan speaker, which spoke, I think, very eloquently and very quite forceful. So, because you see, not only the historical sort of factor, but also I think today the almost entire Tibetan people, inside as well as outside, they put a lot of trust and hope on me. Therefore, I have the moral responsibility to serve them. And also, Tibetan issue is not just a political issue. It's the issue of, as I mentioned earlier, human value, promotion of human value, and the promotion of religious harmony. And also, Tibetan case is the preservation of Tibetan beautiful, delicate environment. So these are the important aspect of Tibetan issue. So, but as the Tibetan struggle is concerned, there is limit. So almost now 6 years, more than 6 years, we already have elected political leadership. Since then, my position is something like semi-retired position. So within a few years' time, I will retire completely. So that's about my third commitment. So in any way, I really appreciate your warm welcome and give this this degree, yes, honorary degree. So I very much appreciate, and also on top of the warm here, quite warm, quite hot. Now this, so a little bit additional burden on that. So thank you very much for this one. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. Thank you.
There are some
questions now. Did this start?
some written questions have been submitted.
Yes.
Is mine on?
Yeah, yours house. Quite warm. Yes, good.
The first question, Your Holiness. We often encounter people with other religious backgrounds.
With other
religious backgrounds,
yes.
Whose teachings differ from Buddhism. For example, Christians are taught that people can be saved only through God's grace. According to this view, God is the only source of salvation, and we need to believe in Him no matter what, and regard all other religions as false. How should someone who believes that different religions can be equally valuable respond to someone who says that only their religion is true?
I think in various different religious traditions, faith is important. Therefore, according almost like single-pointed faith in order to develop that kind of faith, you see, this conception, just one truth, one religion, you see, that happened. So, now I think we have to think about the sort of two concept of several religion, several truth, and the concept of one truth, one religion. Now, how to overcome, you see, that contradiction.
How to reconcile the two?
I think, like medicine, you see, according different illness, you need different medicine. So you cannot say this medicine, no matter according what illness, but this medicine is best. This medicine is only
the only medicine.
Only medicine. You cannot say that. So similarly, people who have different mental disposition, for example, to some people, the concept of God is so powerful, so forceful, in order to be more compassionate person and practice of tolerance. Now, for example, I think your enemy also creation of God. So therefore, your enemy also deserve to show love and compassion. See, that brings the spirit of reconciliation, spirit of forgiveness. So very powerful. I think from that respect, Buddhist approach, law of causality, so that may be less effective as far as practice of tolerance, these things. Clear? Buddhism is a different way to development of forgiveness, these things. So the faith creator is so sort of powerful. So to some people, that faith, that religion is much more suitable. And for that person, that religion is best because most effective. To such person, Buddhism is not good because not talking about creator like that. So similarly, some other people who may, according to due to mental disposition, there's a Buddhist way of approach, law of causality is more effective. So like that. So that's, I think, basis, you see, to
reconcile.
The one truth, one religion, concept of one several truth and several religion. So I think mainly, I think in the terms of individual, then the concept of one truth, one religion is relevant. In the terms of the community, in terms of several people, then particularly now like that, today's world, it's a religion, multicultural. In that case, the several truth, several religion is relevant. Then deeper way, or if we try to create more complicated, then of course the philosophical field, there's a lot of differences. So then, I always emphasize the effectiveness or purpose of these different philosophy. Then we will find the same sort of the effect or same result. On the philosophical side, then difficulties. Then they're really difficult. One say, you see, no creator. One say creator is the ultimate truth. Then difficult. So leave it. So to the choice, right? To the choice to the people. I think in a good restaurant, Usually, you see, we prefer variety of food. Just one kind of food, always. Even you see breakfast, same. Lunchtime, same. Dinners, same. I think customer will reduce. Less and less come. So variety of food is better. Even the necessity for this physical. But then, this is a sophisticated mind, emotion. We need a lot of varieties. I think that's much better. Like that.
Next question. Is forgiveness the right path, even when the wrongdoer does not accept responsibility for his or her actions and does not ask for forgiveness?
The forgiveness does not mean you accept others' wrongdoing. Now here I think forgiveness, forgetfulness, two different. If you forget about others' wrongdoing, then there is no basis of forgiveness. And then I think now here I think important is make distinction, the deeds and the person. As far as person is concerned, for example, your enemy. Yes, enemy, but still human being, according to those believer of God. Then, as I mentioned earlier, this is also the creation of God. So therefore, towards a person should not develop hatred or negative feeling. And another sort of reason, today's enemy may become good friend next time. So that also reason. And no matter how bad sort of enemy, certainly not from the beginning. Young age, we even do not know. And at that time, just innocent children. Right? So you see, thinking this line, so as a human being, as a person, the forgiveness should not develop negative feeling, ill feeling. Then, since you make distinction, the person and deeds, action. So therefore, action is concerned, if wrongdoing action, now judge the wrongdoing action is serious enough if you let continue that wrongdoing, that eventually spoil that person. So in that case, now out of sense of concern of that person, then appropriate countermeasure in order to stop that wrongdoing. So this is not at all the meaning of forgiveness. You have to, under certain circumstances, you have to take strong countermeasure to stop that. Not out of hatred, but out of sense of concern of that person. Clear? Some sense? Oh, if you feel sense, then practice. Next question.
The survival of our world depends on solving huge challenges such as global warming, increasing economic inequality, religious fundamentalism, and ongoing wars.
What kind of wars?
Wars, ongoing.
Yes.
We all know these challenges are serious, yet in developed countries, there seems to be reluctance to make personal sacrifices or participate actively to make change. What can we do to wake up our civilization? How can we influence and accelerate the necessary change?
Yes, I fully agree with these challenges. And also, I think I want to add one thing. That's the population. I think around 6 billion human beings. I think better to maintain between 6 to 7 billions. Beyond that, meantime, we also have to work, reduce this gap, rich and poor. So reduce means the poorer, because the richer people's way of life should be poorer. Not that way, but the poorer people's sort of living standard must raise up. So then, if several billions of human beings, I don't know, I think the complicated really comes very, very serious, and environmental issue also is involved. So the population is also one challenge, rapidly increasing the population, particularly in those developing countries or underdeveloped countries like that. So then, how to
deal with this challenge?
How to deal with this challenge? I think the real precise answer is, I don't know. As I mentioned before, I think human warm-heartedness, it brings sense of community, sense of responsibility, right? And sense of concern. Then intelligence side provide us method how to deal. So I think basically at the level of public, I think raise this issue, reminds leaders or various concerned people. Then media also very important, crucial role. And then education institution also is a very, very important role. And the parent also very important role. So I think various levels, various parts of the community making effort. Then these things, certainly we will find effective method if we pay sufficient attention and then use our intelligence properly or more on holistic view, then we will find, I think, better answer. I think many of the problem which we are facing is due to lack of holistic approach or perspective. Because the events, whether positive or negative, they, in reality, everything interrelated. Then it appears us not that vast related sort of field. It appears just the problem or the good thing or negative or positive event, something independent. So we deal accordingly. So the reality much wider connected. It appears on single independent. So therefore, our action actually become unrealistic. That I think due to lack of holistic view. That I think very important. And particularly I think international relations field and also I think economy. I think in many fields. I think that's important. Next question.
What advice can you give to young families? Young families.
Oh.
How should they raise their children?
I think wrong person to ask. Then, if you if you really want to have sort of sufficient sort of explanation, then first let me marry. Then myself, you see, raise some children. Then gain more experience. So I think, as I mentioned before, I think parents' important role is give maximum affection to your children. That is most important. That's most important. My own case, I always believe the certain amount of my sort of affection or compassion, I think because my mother, very, very nice, very warm-hearted person. My mother, you see, I think provide us, I think, a maximum affection. Not only her own children, but also the other people who really facing sufferings. Then my mother always extend help them. And whenever mother saw, you see, the suffering people, always tear. So my mother, I think my real teacher of compassion is my mother. I feel like that. So therefore, my father, short temper, not that is a warm-hearted person, but short temper, just on the superficial, not that ill feeling way. So those people, I think both parents should provide maximum love and affection to the child. And also, I think, from time to time, tell them importance of compassion. This is not just a question of nice person, but this question of whole life in order to be happier life, in order to be good citizen of the community. These things are very essential. So while you are providing maximum affection, then also knowledge side, tell them, educate your children. That's, I think, very important. Then also, I think you need wisdom. Some of your children, through complete non-violent method, more effective. Some child rather too much naughty, then a little harsh method also may be necessary. I like that. That I don't know. Like you say, my own teacher, of course, all my teachers very, very kind to me, and because of my name Dalai Lama, so they also respect. They also respect me, but at the same time, when I getting teaching, my tutor always kept one whip. So when I was young, you see, getting those as a lesson, my elder brother also is with me. So 2 whips. 1 whip, yellow whip. That's supposed holy whip. Holy whip for holy student. Dalai Lama. But I don't think, you see, if that whip used, I don't think any sort of holy pain. I don't think. Pain is pain, isn't it? And my part, little anxiety, that also anxiety, nothing we can say holy anxiety or holy pain, like that. So therefore, I think that also one indication. We have to go practical way. So sometimes necessary manipulate the fear for good purpose. Not of course, not always, but occasionally. The parent showing a little harsh attitude may help. I don't know. That's my view.
Last two questions?
Yes.
Last two questions. Since 1987, Your Holiness has been holding regular mind and life dialogues with Western scientists on topics such as mind-body relation, dreaming, dying, compassion, quantum physics, and so on. These dialogues have formed the foundations for an important bridge between science and Buddhism. What have been some of its most difficult moments, and what have been some of its most fruitful successes?
I think the difficult part was the cosmology.
Yeah, cosmology.
Cosmology, the Big Bang theory or the whole galaxies, it comes and goes, these are no problem. Buddhists also, you see, the similar sort of view. And also, I think the subtle sort of,
Particles.
Elements, four elements like that. These are no difficult. But, you see, the one geographical,
the actual description of the cosmology based on Mount Mary in the middle and the four continents around it.
That, and you see the distance from Earth to Sun and the Moon, according to a certain scripture, is the same distance, and is almost the same size. So, learning from astronomy,
modern science.
Modern science. That even when I was in Lhasa, I already, you see, knows that. So, in fact, generally we believe moon also have its own light. So, through my sort of little observation with help of telescope, so I already, you see, knows there is no moon's light, but light comes from sun. The indication, the morning light always this side, afternoon or evening light come this side. So that means light come from the sun. Then more important, through telescope you can see some of the
craters.
Craters. Then some mountains also you can see. The shade of the mountain, very clear. So one day I invited my tutor and want to show through telescope the real sort of the
truth.
The picture of the moon. So this shade, the sun's shade. So light comes from sun, not its own. And sometimes, you see, the people believe moon is something like the heavens, some part of heaven. So through telescope we can see just bare rocks or lands like that. So after notice through telescope, my two tutors, they say, "Oh, no light.
No light.
Moon's the whitish sort of light used to come from sun." So I think student, because of the stupid student, teach my experienced teachers the reality about moon. So in any case, that part of some, not all Buddhist sort of the scripture, there are a variety of descriptions, different descriptions about the,
cosmos. No?
Cosmos. So it's that part, as a result of learning modern scientific sort of knowledge. So now I publicly telling people, particularly those monastic students or teachers, I publicly telling them, I have no faith these sort of scriptures. And one, I think, advantage is we have the liberty. You see, to ask, to put question, even Buddha's own word. And Buddha himself made it very clear. Finally, decision must take through your own investigation, rather than relying on quotation. Right?
Buddha's words.
Buddha's word, like that. Then, positive thing.
Success is long.
Positive thing is, I think, subatomic, small particles. I think Buddhist concept, more than 2,500 years sort of old sort of concept. There are many similarities, like quantum physics, Buddhist concept, very similar. Then the Buddhist knowledge, or not only Buddhism, but also ancient Indian thought about different emotions, different minds, and how to tackle different emotions. Now that part, I think ancient Indian thought, including Buddhism, quite rich. So to the modern psychotherapist and also modern psychologist
and cognitive scientist.
Cognitive science, Buddhism can provide more information and also new way to look this subject. So that gives us some satisfaction. Like that? Then
the final question, Your Holiness, what is the most important thing to keep in mind in living one's life?
That's also difficult. I don't know. I think due to differences, I think different importance. So one most important, I don't know. That's, I think, a typical Western way of thinking. What is the most important? What is the best? What is the quickest? Difficult. Then also those people who really counting economy, right? Then another question is the cheapest. So often you see people, sometimes the audience ask me, what is the best way to be happier sort of life? Yeah. And what is the quickest? Yeah. What is the fast way? Yeah. Then usually I answer, that's the typical Western way of question. So the answer is very difficult. So now most important thing, I think those business people, I think most important thing is about their company, about their money, like that. Then to those, I think a serious practitioner, most important is how to challenge my negative emotions. Then those students, I think most important is how to get the high exam, high mark, without much effort. So there are variety of worry or variety of kasoda, most important. Then of course those young people, I think most important is how to get best partner. Then once you materialize that, say how to remain longer period, right? That's most important. Then those people want children. If too many children, then again worry. So that
so there is a Tibetan saying that you worry when you have them, but you also worry when you don't have them.
So the importance is difficult to say. Generalize. You cannot generalize. According to circumstances, according to personal sort of what's the situation. So variety. Like that. Good. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Holiness, for your warm and generous words of compassion and wisdom. You're truly an inspired scholar and teacher, a leader who exemplifies the marriage of intellect with compassionate engagement in the world. I now invite Senior Megan Ambrose, President of the Student Government Association at Smith College, and Yang Thum, a Hampshire College student and Tibetan Exchange Program participant, to present gifts to His Holiness on behalf of their fellow students.